Today I am in New Mexico, El Paso, Texas area, working on the new shop truck. We picked up a new toy. So let's show you, coming next, what we're putting on it. We already have a lot of Icon goodies on this truck. We've got their coilovers, we've got their upper control arms, and the only thing we haven't done yet is we're going to swap out the rear shocks with the Icon 2.0's super lightweight shocks. To remove the rear shocks, all you need to do is get yourself a 15mm socket to remove the lower and the top bolt. All right, so we're gonna take this out. It's a 15mm bolt. Use a 15mm socket and it should come out no problem. And the top one, exactly the same way. So these are your stock bump stops. I'm going to take them out. They're that quick to come out. We're going to replace them with a little bit heavier duty that delay the impact a little bit more. And I believe Icon supplied these, but I believe these are off the Raptor. Let's check this out. Takes a 13mm socket to remove the bucket, the stock bucket that's in here. We're going to replace it with the other one. What we're doing right now is we're replacing the front grille with a much cleaner one. It's going to look similar to the Ford Raptor one, not exactly. We're going to use a trim removing tool. We're going to remove all the tabs. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And then you're going to get your Phillips, and you're going to remove the screws that hold the intake snorkel in. Use a Torx screw to remove the intake mouth off. Come in and pretty much massage this out slowly so you don't break anything. And this is off. I'm going to put it aside. Next, we're going to take off this little cover over here that holds the front grille in place, along with the two 10mm bolts on this side. Just taking a couple of bolts off. Okay, now we're going to need to remove this shroud cover. There's 4 Torx T25s, and you don't even need a socket for like a ratchet on these. You could spin these by hand. They're barely tightened on. We're going to go ahead and remove them to clear the way. All right, folks, we were able to finally install the new grille. Since the US is not going to be getting the Ranger Raptor, we went ahead and ordered a grille, a full grille of what you would see on the Raptor Ranger, and we installed it. It looks perfect, it fits perfect, and we'll sure to list it on our website for you. Another step we're doing here is we're replacing the stock air filter with a high flow K&N air filter that's rewashable, reusable, to increase the airflow, and hopefully we can get not necessarily more power, but get it to flow better. It's a real easy install. Take this out, it's still clean. This thing doesn't even have 200 miles on it. We're just going to put this guy in here. This one comes pre-oiled, but not soaked with oil, just a little bit. And it's so quick and easy to put in. All right, guys, we're continuing with the Project Ranger over here, and our next mod, if you recall, we changed the air filter, put a K&N filter, we changed the front grille to give it a much more sleek look. We've done a lot of suspension work, which we'll go back and circle around it later when we'll go out to the dunes and test it. And next is our Turbo Smart BOV. And the reason why we're using it is because it sounds a lot better, and it could handle a lot more boost than the stock BOV. We're not doing any modification to the boost right now, but we're going to do it because we're planning to. So this is your stock BOV. It sits at the very top of the charge pipe on the cold side. So what we're going to do is we're going to take an 8mm socket, and we're going to very quickly wrench it out. Retain these screws because we're going to reuse them. And you pull this tab back, you push, and you remove. And then there is your stock BOV. We're going to put it aside. And then this is the mechanical one that is supplied by Turbo Smart. And it goes in exactly in the same exact location. We're going to use the same exact little screws in there. We're going to put it in. It's a very simple install. Shouldn't take long at all. All right, so you're supplied with a Fowler plug. You just plug it in, and they even gave us a little zip tie to keep this together. Don't tie it to the little wire next to it. Just zip tie it together here to keep it clean and neat so it doesn't flap around. Doesn't require a whole lot of pressure. And that's it. I'm going to trim this, clean it up, and then fire it up and see how it works. That's it. All right, let's go ahead and crank it up. Up next, we're installing some A-pillar mounts, and we're going to have a set of KC Flex Duo. They're able to put out about 2,000 lumens. Pretty bright, and they're really nice. So it's real simple. You got two 13mm nuts that you gotta loosen and remove out here, and then the bracket goes right there. All right, we're gonna get to it. All right, I'm gonna take out the top and only loosen the bottom nut. And make sure you position this properly before you tighten it. Do not over tighten these. Remember, you got a composite hood here. All right, so before we install the other side, let's bring this down to see what it looks like. So there is your mount right there, and you can have your lights directly on there, or we can use a bracket to lift them up if we want to. All right, so taking this apart, this is a 17mm nut with a lock-in washer and a washer, and the lock-in washer are sandwiched between the bracket and the mount. So as you can see, super easy install. It mounts directly onto the bracket right here. You can aim and adjust, and we're gonna wait till later to do that to make sure that the beam is shining exactly where we want it. And we're gonna go now to the next side. So there's a little hose for your windshield wiper fluid. It's hooked up on a little tab on the hood mount right here. You take it out, push your bracket in, situate your bracket, then clip it back on. It's no problem. So ideally, as an A-pillar light, since it sits high up, you want a spot pattern, because its role, and its perfect role, is to shine light straight ahead where your headlights won't reach anymore. Final touches on this truck, since we've had a lot of success with the Pedal Commander, the Bluetooth series, of course. We've used it on the Raptors, we've used it on a Jeep of our own, and we absolutely loved it. So what the Pedal Commander does, as I've explained in other installation videos, it enhances the throttle. It does not modify the power curve of the truck. It doesn't do anything except modify the throttle, removes the delay, and it gives it that little spark. We're going to install this. Shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. We'll show you. Once you decide where you want to mount your Pedal Commander, we'll show you in the next frame where we put ours. You're going to go ahead and unplug the throttle cable. You're going to plug this in, and then this goes into the throttle. As you can see from our little video and limited lighting, sorry about that, that's where it plugs in. All right, so as we started working on this truck, since we are working to build it to be an off-road truck, the very first thing we addressed as it came off the shipping truck, we actually went and changed the suspension. What I'm holding here is the very stock upper control arm. It's a hollow box steel with a lot of binding, and it doesn't allow for much movement, especially with us going with the new ride height using the Icon front aluminum series coilovers. We went with their also Icon upper control arm that is billet aluminum, much stronger, and it allows up to 35% more travel. Up next, we're going to take this truck out and show you what it could do in comparison to possibly the Raptors that we got. We'll see you in a little bit. All right, guys, it's been about 2 weeks now since I worked on the Ranger, and back into Central Texas, and wanted to give you a feedback, but we wanted to make absolute sure that we tested all these features and put them through enough testing out on the trails, on the street, between the throttle response that we were able to accomplish, the amazing suspension build that we added to it from Icon Dynamics. The Ranger actually not only performed well on the trail, it exceeded our expectations, ended up leading us through most of the trails, did amazingly well, performed above and beyond what we really wanted to achieve, and we're extremely happy with it. I'll make sure to post a link of the entire package on our website. You can order the whole package, or you can order individual items like the grill or the pedal commander or the suspension part itself. Until then, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to me and I will get back with you. See y'all later.